Welcome back. So, with previews during the playoffs, it's the same rule as during the regular season. So, once we get to where there's two games or less on any given day, it won't be its own video. It'll be combined with the news video for that day. But tonight we got four. And what's fantastic is during the playoffs, each series has its own personality. We have no idea what that personality is going to be until the playoffs start. So, each series is this brand new story that we get to experience tonight. And I think that's great because we had four stories begin last night and there was some spectacular play along the way. So starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Pittsburgh Penguins in against the New York Rangers. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, of course, they will be starting Casey DeSmith. Jari is not expected to be available for the first couple of games. On the Rangers side of things, it'll be Shesterkin, and that's huge. How well Shesterkin plays is going to directly decide whether or not the New York Rangers are going to be moving on to the next round or not. And so Pittsburgh's probably going to be peppering him with shots at least early on. We'll see, right? Because this is in MSG. They may have, an issue with those first 5 minutes, the Rangers being really amped up. We saw that in each game last night where the teams were really amped up for like the first 10 minutes of each game. And then it settles down a little bit. So it's about trying to overcome that first 10 minutes, right? Florida at home against the Washington Capitals. This one starts at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. And again, everybody's overwhelmingly taking Florida. But once that puck drops in game one, we'll find out what the real storyline is going to be. We just don't know yet. For Florida, of course, this is the first time I can remember where they've been favored like this, ever. I don't think that's ever happened. Even last year, going to the first round, sure, they had home ice, but they were against Tampa, so there wasn't a lot of people taking them necessarily over the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we'll see how it works because Washington is dangerous. They still have a number of players left from that 2018 Stanley Cup. It's all going to depend on the health of Ovechkin, I do believe, how this series turns out. But again, there are some really good playoff performers in Washington. I don't necessarily count them out, but I'm taking Florida too. Then at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, the Nashville Predators in against Colorado. So I'm wearing Avs. But I will say this. There's a lot being made of the fact Saros is confirmed not to play in games 1 and 2. Now, I've seen people saying he's out 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. Under a normal circumstance, sure. This is the playoffs. It is possible that Saros gets put into the net. And then we can have the debate after about whether or not he was 100%, whether or not it was the right idea. But there's the possibility that he ends up seeing the net at some point in this series because if Nashville loses, their season's over. So nursing an injury and going, well, you'll be better in a couple of weeks. You'll be out in a couple of weeks. So this is where we'll see whether or not Nashville pushes Saros. It should be an interesting game, though. Nashville plays a very physical style, very abrasive. Colorado has some guys that can do that as well. And it should be an interesting night. Then at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, the Calgary Flames at home against the Dallas Stars. For the Calgary Flames, of course, this is another, and I mean another is in back in 2019. Of course, they had home ice and they were one of the top. They were the top seed in the West. In this case, they're number 2 in the West. Now they need to really make it count for something, and they're against Dallas, a team that took them out a couple of years ago. So Dallas will be trying to just do it again, and for Calgary, they'll be trying to show that they've got whatever issues they had that led to that loss against the Dallas Stars fixed. And so this is their chance for revenge, and that can always work. But let me know your picks in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.